I apologize for the first video as I did a screen record because I thought it was just going to be a brief, explanation of what I was going through. I didn't realize it was going to be almost 2 hours. However, I did just review it because, as I said, mostly I read the Bible and I don't share my life as far as, taking the time 2 hours to explain a lot of things. But I did review it, and I noticed that there was a couple things that I had missed. As far as, like I said, the day I found out I was pregnant with my daughter, that was where it started. And then there was a couple other things that I had missed. I do like how it ended up turning out. Although, like I said, I probably should have done it this way to begin with. But again, I did not know that it was going to be as long as it was. So I am sorry for my YouTube followers that the video was the way that it was and you got to see more of my screen than me. And, I had to play with the situation. But I do want to use this video time, since that's what I know I'm doing now, to reiterate and to give you the missing pieces, because that's why I don't like to, and this is why me and God used to have a fight about doing this YouTube channel, was I'm not a good storyteller when it comes to my part, because I have ADHD and my brain is like 10 trains going, and then I forget what I'm saying. I lose, track and forget a bunch of stuff. So I'm very bad with timelines, and very bad with keeping track of where I'm talking about and knowing where I'm at. So this one should be a little bit shorter. I did, like I said, put some notes on it as far as things that were missing. So the day I found out I was excuse me, still. So the day I found that I was pregnant with my oldest daughter, my mother was mad for a long time, actually. And at this point in my life, she had already been, addicted to bingo and going 7 days a week. But this particular day, instead of being there with me, she had went to bingo. So like I said, my ex was mad at me for being with my oldest's baby daddy, with him. And it was an incident where we ended up, going there to fight, and it was just a weird situation. But when we got home from the confrontation with my ex, I had mentioned about my cousin, who I didn't know was dating my kid's father, or had dated him. Because like I said, she was gay, so I didn't think, I didn't know nothing about being bisexual. You were either gay or straight in my eyes, like I said, I was and have been very, very naive. And once I get into some other situation, I will tell you, but I just wanted to go based off my video. So the day I found out I was pregnant, we had went in my room, and they were whispering behind my back, and I just kept looking at them both, like, what are you guys doing? What is going on? Next thing I know, my cousin is putting her arm over my chest and throwing me down on the bed. And she had did that a couple times, and I'm like, what are you doing? And eventually she ended up holding me down and told him what to do, and he did it. And again, another time that I had to go to court, and I did say justify, but I meant to testify against my third baby daddy. I also had to testify against my first baby daddy and my cousin. And actually, the day that I got home from the hospital, so the next day after that happened, I had told a friend what had happened, and I said, promise that you won't tell nobody else. But he did. He ended up telling somebody else. He ended up telling my DSS worker, and I had to go to the hospital and take a bunch of tests and everything. And when I got home that night from the hospital, they called me threatening me that they were going to kill me, that they were going to all kinds of stuff. Like I said, a lot of times that it happened to me, the people didn't believe that it happened, even though, like I said, he and her know what they did. They know what the situation was, and they still, I don't know what they told these people, but they threatened to kill me. And kill my unborn child. And just like, it was a very rough time for a while, when I was pregnant with my oldest. So that was one point that I missed, that I forgot to say, that they had hurt me, and that's why he didn't have any visitations or any rights or anything with our oldest daughter, because after that happened, obviously, he didn't have any rights or anything. Also, the friend that I had mentioned that I've known since we were pregnant, my ears, like, ooh, since we were pregnant with our oldest, we had went to the parenting program, and she had known, him. And like I said, she was mad at me for that situation, because I don't know what was being told. I still don't know what was being told, but she didn't believe me until she found out who I really was, and that I wouldn't lie about that. And that, again, my stories don't change, because there might be some details missing and some added details or whatever, but as far as the gist of the story, it doesn't change, because I don't lie. Or at least I do my best not to. No, I don't lie. But we ended up dating. Again, I don't know the whole timeline, but I do know that we had dated for over a year, or just about a year. So calling me a homophobe is really silly, when I personally have experienced a, gay or lesbian relationship, and then I don't remember where it was, but I didn't even know. So we were talking about how we used to walk, because my daughter, she obviously knew how you can get pregnant and how all that other stuff. I did not know how you can get pregnant. I thought you had to be a specific age. This is how naive I was growing up. I didn't know you can get pregnant. I didn't know starting your period meant that means now that you can conceive a child. I started my period very, very, very young, and I did not comprehend, and I still can't comprehend, like, having a baby that young, which obviously didn't happen, but I did have her at 15, 14 when I got pregnant, 15 when I had her. But I was that naive that I didn't even know I could get pregnant. So I didn't know, like I said, the whole sperm and egg. I didn't know that. I didn't know. I was naive. I didn't know how. I thought you had to be a certain age. I was just, and people laugh at me when I tell them that, but I mean, like, I don't know what to tell you. My mother taught me girls bleed through Carrie. And again, Carrie was in her teens when she started, and she didn't even know that girls bleed. So at least my mother wanted to show me and my brothers, because she wanted them to be good boyfriends or husbands or whatever, and know that girls grow up to bleed. Who knew? I did not know. But again, I didn't know that I could get pregnant. And when I did, when we were at the doctor's and they're like, you're pregnant, I was like, there's no possible way I could be pregnant. I didn't even have sex yet. And like, come on, really? Oh my God. So as far as the medical thing, like I said, I try not to lie. So I misspoke. I used to go home on the weekends and stay at my mother's during the week. And then when that girl was giving me a ride back and forth, it was, every day that she would bring me to and from Wareham so I could be with my son. But I would walk back and forth. I would leave New Bedford to go to Wareham after school on Friday, and then I would leave Sunday to be in New Bedford for Monday. So it was the weekends that I was in Wareham, when I was doing that walking thing. And then I remembered it was Brandy Hill and Wareham. Brandy Hill and the Woods of Wareham were the two apartment complexes that I had filled out the application, and I didn't end up getting in Brandy Hill, but I did end up getting in the Woods of Wareham. And I did mention about my friend who was pregnant with her youngest. Well, it was her youngest at the time. She does have another little baby girl now. And then as far as, like I said, there's a lot of stories on gays or lesbians or anybody that has, you know, found God or God has found them and they have changed. This one guy's, he's awesome. He's an ex-gay and now he's a preacher. And, you know, he talks a lot about his personal experience. This is what makes a good teacher for me and a good even worker. You know, I've mentioned about opening my own business, and you cannot be a good boss unless you've done the work for yourself. I watched it on Undercover Boss, like CEOs. You can't be a good CEO unless you've done the job yourself. Same thing with teacher or preaching or speaking on things. That's why I say you can't speak on things you know nothing about, but you can only teach and preach on things that you do know, that you personally have experienced in your life. And those are my absolute favorites, is the gays who became straight or the gays who find God or however their stories are. And like I said, that lady that I don't remember the whole thing because, you know, like I said, I have very bad. Sometimes my memory is good. Sometimes it's bad. I had this ADHD. I'm sorry. Or ADD or whatever it is. And I used to be on Ritalin as a child. So I don't know. But anyways, you know, those are my absolute favorite stories, is the people that teach on how they found God or how God found them. And, you know, I just love it. So I just wanted to reiterate, take the couple minutes to give you the missing details of what happened with the day I found out I was pregnant, and that I did have a lesbian relationship, so I'm not homophobic. And a lot of people, the gays and lesbians are like the happiest people because, like I told her, everybody just wants to be loved. Everybody just wants to be loved. You just want to know that people understand. So, you know what I mean? What you do with your own personal life is what you do with your own personal life. Like I said before, if it doesn't affect me or my children, do as you wish, friend. I will still love you no matter what. And I did want to reiterate, as far as my brother not liking him, it's not a judgment thing. It's a knowledge thing. So, you know, it's just when you try to teach people and you try to teach and you explain and explain and explain, there's only so much you can do to help somebody. And if they choose not to help themselves, then that's what makes me not like a person. Whether you take it or not, that's up to you. Whatever. You know, I can still love you and not like you, you know, and I can still accept you as a person, but not want you to be a part of my life, if that makes sense. So I just wanted to, you know, I'm not judging, I'm just speaking on my behalf. So this was just a couple minutes, even though I should have done it the first time. But again, I thought it was only going to be a couple minutes. I didn't think it was going to be that long. So I'm sorry that it was a mess. It was a mess, but I think I made the point, and I think I have clarified a lot, and I have finally been able to explain who I am as a person and give my views and my beliefs. Because I don't know, and maybe that's just why now, because, you know, the fact that people say, or my children have said they know my views and beliefs without actually knowing my views and beliefs. And I can speak and preach the Bible all day long, and you still won't know who I am as a person. So this was my introduction to me and my life. And, you know, like I said, my views and beliefs, and even to this last year, even learning, you know, communication. I say I'm not good with communication. Hello, I could have done things better to maybe have helped him, and maybe he'd still be here. But life is life, and you never know what it's gonna happen. You never know. So again, I love you. God loves you, and this is just a couple minute video to let you know what happened the day that I found out I was pregnant, that I did have a relationship way back when. Life has brought me to and through. It brought me to her because, like I said, we only wanted love, and brought me out of it, you know. And I still to this day love her with all of my heart. and she knows that I love her, you know, and she doesn't make the best life choices. But again, I can love people from a distance, you know, and still talk to you and still be a part of your life. Um, but I have to make the best choices for me and my babies. So, not that she's a bad person or anything, but I was talking mostly of my brother. Like, I have to make that choice. So to say that I don't like him is, you know, that's again our personal life. We've lived. I was there when he grew up, and I know, um, you know, I know things. So it's knowledge that gives us our opinions and whatnot. So again, just to reiterate and just to give the point of everything, I'm sorry that it had to be like the whole camera thing, but again, I didn't know it was going to be as long as it was, but I hope you get to enjoy spending time with me, and I love you, and God loves you, and he will come to you wherever you are. Just seek him first, and all luck will fall into place. So I love you. Bye.